Hello students, hope you're doing well. Obviously I'm not in class right now, so I decided to make a little short lesson for you that's I'm going to be using today. And even though I'm not here, I ask that you guys treat the subject with the exact same respect and attention that you would give me. Um, so without further ado, let's get into today's lesson. So for today's lesson, we're going to be talking about literary devices and figurative language and their role in English, especially literature. So our objective for today is going to be when given a short story, by the end of the lesson, students will identify the figurative language used in fictional works and writing by highlighting and noting while connecting themes and pieces of the story to the author's intended purpose. Um, so again, we're going to be looking at multiple pieces of literature today. I'm going to want you to see what kind of tools they're using inside their arsenal and relate them back to the themes and their intended purpose of writing. So let's go ahead and look at an example real quick of what literary device is. Um, so what is a literary device actually? Literary devices are the backbone of a creative writer. They help provide imagery of what can be a mundane read. Literary devices are all around us, from books to marketing and in television. So I want you to think of some that you might think of right now. For example, maybe one of the most popular ones you might know is Red Bull. Red Bull gives you points. This is a good example of a metaphor. Um, it's a comparison statement of sorts. And in this case, it's saying that when you drink a Red Bull, you'll grow wings. Obviously, we know that's not true, um, but we can tell that by the marketing campaign. This is obviously just figurative speech. So literary devices really help us enhance story and provide creative ways to express different ideas and emotions. So maybe some of you that want to go into PR marketing can take advantage of these literary devices. Um, and so just some of the things that they do are enhance readers' experiences, can describe a unique experience, and convey specific messages to readers and provide some sort of visual evidence. So think about in a setting, maybe you're in a deep forest. How do you describe a rainforest to somebody who's never been to South America? You might say, well, you might say the trees are so green, it'll look like a painter dumped a bucket on it. And that's a good example of a literary device. So let's go ahead and read one from a book that we're going to be reading later in class. So we beat on boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. Scott Fitzgerald, the Great Gatsby. So the literary device that is being used here is called alliteration, which is the repetition of letters. Um, if you notice, Scott Fitzgerald uses the letter B, often B, boats, borne back. He's trying to emphasize not only just the letter B, but also kind of just the tide being up against the boats. The characters have their backs against the wall, and Scott Fitzgerald wants to emphasize this. So anytime you see alliteration, your ears should perk up and should let you know, hey, the writer is trying to tell us something. So let's go ahead and look at some more examples. So some more examples of literary devices include onomatopoeia, which is not as complicated as it sounds. It's actually a good representation of sound effects. Um, so think boom, pop, the old Rice Krispie treat commercials, boom, crack, pow. Those are all onomatopoeias. For those of you that are anime fans, you might know that there's the superhero My Hero Academia, whose whole main power is creating actions out of onomatopoeia. So think boom, again, just like even comic book words. are a good example of onomatopoeia. Um, Similes, I think that you all might be familiar with those. Um, for example, she is as sharp as a whip is a common simile. It is inferring that the woman is really smart. Um, Oxymorons are also really common. Uh, if we look at the example below, it says the dumbest genius. Um, an oxymoron takes two juxtaposed ideas, in this case, dumb and genius, and what it does is that it compares the two. So in this case, it's saying that maybe this person is really dumb and they actually made a good decision for once. So it's kind of backhanded comment. So keep an eye out when we're reading this, especially in books like The Great Gatsby. So we'll go ahead and move on. Um, so now I want you guys to give it a try. I want you guys to make your own decisions and see what you might notice. And like I keep mentioning before, literary devices are everywhere. Um, so we're going to listen to a quick song that you might know by Bruno Mars called When I Was Your Man. And what I really want you to do is I want you to listen, and I want you to think, and I want you to think about how these characters are interacting, because literary devices help enhance the story. So go ahead and see how these characters are interacting. You can watch the video on your own time. I'm going to skip past it. Um, so go ahead and just pause here, or the sub will display it on the screen through the projector. But yeah, I'll go ahead and skip over it real quick, and I'll share my thoughts of what I noticed. So again, what did you notice? So I hope you have your paper, your lyric sheet that the subject I've given you. Um, some things that I noticed throughout the song was just how regretful Bruno Mars was. We don't know what he did, but we do know by running through the text and some of the word choices that he uses and some of the narration, because that's a literary device, that he's obviously very regretful about what he did to his partner. And there's a lot of irony in this. There's a lot of irony that he knows what he did was wrong, but he still kept doing it anyways. And there's also a lot of allegory. There's a lot of themes that represent the whole song. For example, there's always the theme of him thinking that him doing nice things is going to bring her back. And it brings back that whole theme of the song of his lack of commitment. So those are some things that I want you to identify. And I think we're ready to get to the next level. And I think you guys are ready to get to the next level. So we're going to have some more practice. So right now we're going to sharpen our comprehension and we're going to apply it to some short stories before we get into the book, because literary devices are going to be the building block for us this school year. And if we don't have that foundation, then we're not going to be able to enjoy the literature that we have planned. So what I want you to do is you guys are going to sit at your desk. You guys are going to sit down and you guys are going to read the short story called Hills Like White Elephants by Ernest Hemingway. Now, it's important for us to have some kind of background on the writer. Um, Ernest Hemingway was part of the lost generation of writers. Just like Scott Fitzgerald, I would not say they were best friends, but they knew each other. Um, so make sure you touch up on some research about Ernest Hemingway to see where he's coming from, to see what kind of lens he's writing from. Because we come in with the 21st century mindset for a piece of writing that was written in the 20th century. Um, and you'll notice right away in this writing, Ernest Hemingway kind of doesn't give you the answers. He wants you to figure it out. The story is going to follow a man and a woman, and using literary devices. Ernest Hemingway expects you to be able to draw your own conclusion. Um, So go ahead and read that and let me know what you think. And then finally, at the end of the day, for your exit ticket, just to give you an idea of where you guys are, I want you guys to hold your speaker in thirds, write what you learned today, and what you took away from this lesson. On the second part, I want you to write any questions you have. Are you feeling lost? Then write down the question and we'll go over it when we're in class. What did you think of the lesson? Go ahead and write your honest thoughts and what I can do better. But again, just place the sheet in the basket and grab your homework for today, and you're free to go. Next, just give you a little background about your homework. You're gonna go to literarydevices.net. You're gonna find 5 literary devices that we did not talk in class, and you're gonna write your own. So this is a good way for you. This is a good way for you to get used to seeing literary devices, and it's also a good practice. Learning about literary devices is kind of like learning a new language. In order to learn a new language, you have to practice it. And the more and more you practice it, the more and more easier it will become. So I say please go ahead and practice, because the more you practice, the more enjoyable reading is going to be. So thank you guys. I miss you all, and I hope you guys are having a good day. Thank you guys.